Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Talking Toku. It's a brand new year. Not really brand new Toku. We're still the same Toku, so don't worry. You're listening to Talking Toku, Boston's only podcast about Godzilla, Gamera, Ultraman, and all their kaiju friends. I am your host, David Scrivani.
I'm your co-host, Brian Kershaw.
And you listeners may have seen my video I posted on Instagram saying that this was going to be a really fun episode, but it is going to be a fun episode, but the thing that I said was going to be a fun episode, that's not happening this week, for a number of reasons, mostly because I just didn't have time to watch the thing we were going to cover. It was just, I've been working so much. I'm currently in the midst of a 9-day long streak of working. I don't have enough time to watch a 40 episode show that also has a movie, but the movie is like the length of an episode plus 10 minutes. Point is, I don't have enough time to watch it.
Yikes.
But
Cringe. I'm terrible podcaster.
I know, but I am fully planning on doing an episode on this particular thing this year, absolutely this year, but perhaps when it's a bit more relevant. I wonder what that could mean.
I don't know. I have absolutely no deductive reasoning skills, so.
I literally said why. I told you why it would be relevant, but, you know.
I know why.
Okay, all right. You're just being facetious, I see.
I am.
All right. Well, Brian, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about literally just Mechagodzilla.
Yeah, the best boy.
Yeah, the thing that I have a tattoo of on my arm.
Yeah, I will say, in our little Google Doc, the main topic name is "Shit Fuck Mechagodzilla Kicks Ass." That is literally what the topic of today's episode is. So yeah, we're not sure how we're gonna go with that. Brian came up with a little guide. Whether or not we actually end up following that guide, who knows? We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
It's a toss-up.
Yeah, but we have some news to start things off because it's been over a month since we last recorded something, but it was the holidays, so it was still kind of slow in terms of news. But anyways, Brian, would you care to go first?
Sure. First up, the next Chronicle entry in the Ultraman franchise has been announced. Ultraman Chronicle D, recapping the events of Ultraman Trigger, New Generation Tiga, and Ultraman Dyna. Similar to how the last Chronicle series covered Z and Tiga, perhaps the next big series will tie into Dyna like Trigger tied into Tiga. Anyways, Chronicle D premieres January 29th. There's no word that I see whether it will broadcast on the Super Raya Productions YouTube channel, but I'm guessing there's a pretty good chance of it.
Yeah, the last Chronicle series was on YouTube, so I can only assume this one will. I didn't watch the last Chronicle series because it's literally a recap series, and if I want to watch the series that they're recapping, one of which being Zet, which literally wrapped a week before that Chronicle series premiered, I already watched it, and Tiga just got released on DVD, so I'd rather just watch the show rather than recap, really.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Anyways, new SRS Cinema release alert. SRS Cinema has announced a Blu-ray release of Uktena, the Horned Monstrosity from directors Dan and David Traynor. Judging from the trailer, the film seems significantly lower budget than some of the other releases of theirs that we've covered on the show, such as Great Buddha Arrival, which I may be talking about later. That being said, SRS Cinema's whole shtick is like the micro-budget horror and monster movies thing. I mean, for God's sake, they're the ones carrying the torch of like the Asylum and the Sci-Fi Channel's various shark movies with such, golden standard cinema like House Shark and Stephen Kang's Sharks of the Corn. So I truly cannot blame them for sticking to their guns.
Did they specifically find someone named Stephen King to write the script?
Oh no, I don't think there's anyone named Stephen Kang like involved in the project. I think they just did that because it would sound funny, like Children of the Corn.
That is pretty funny.
So yeah,
That's some good comedy right
yeah.
there.
I still really want to watch House Shark because they include the trailer on like all their releases, and it looks like the most batshit movie I've ever seen. Like there's specifically a shot of like a shark fin in a toilet because he's swimming around in there.
I mean, I'm a whore for shark movies, especially bad ones.
Yeah.
So,
and you know, I
I'd be down
would
to
rather
watch.
take something like this over something like The Asylum or Sci-Fi Channel. I would rather take House Shark over, Sharknado 5.
Well, The Asylum, they used to be funny, and now they're just cringy.
Yeah, they've kind of jumped the shark. No pun
They
intended.
used to have a little bit of class, but now they don't have any.
Yeah.
They used all.
Also,
They used all of it.
Speaking of The Asylum, I'd like to say, we've talked about Mystery Science Theory 3000 on this show quite a bit before. Their last season, the one they did right before they got canceled, they covered an Asylum film. I feel like that's cheating.
Yeah, it is.
For Mystery Science Theater 2000, like you can't cover a movie that was purposely made to be bad. Like that's not how that works. I don't think.
Maybe they just needed an easy episode.
Maybe. There's plenty of them. There's plenty of movies out there that are unintentionally bad.
Maybe
or even
they were having, a
good.
Really lazy day.
Maybe. Oh well. Anyways, Octana the Horned Monstrosity will be out January 20th. So before this episode even goes live. So if you're listening to this episode, it's already available to buy. Go support
Have
Indie
fun.
Toku.
Do it.
Yeah.
All right. I guess I'll read the next one. After what feels like forever of never knowing exactly when season 2 of Netflix's Ultraman will premiere, we finally have a concrete release date, as well as a new trailer, featuring this show's version of the 6 Ultra Brothers, Zophy, Ultraman, Ultra 7, Jack, Ace, and Taro, as well as a really cool redesigned version of iconic Ultra 7 foe, King Joe. Ultraman will go live on Netflix on April 14th, which is pretty sort of soon.
It's 3 months. It's not bad.
In media release, that's pretty soon.
Yeah, that's very soon.
That's cool. I mean, I watched the first season of the show and it was fine, entertaining at least.
Yeah.
So I'll probably watch it. Why not?
Yeah, we'll probably cover it,
Yeah. I had a good time.
Yeah.
I mean, I was, I watched it with Allie.
Yeah.
So,
Brian.
the fact that she liked it was interesting.
Brian, you'd if you watched the original Ultraman, you'd probably appreciate it a lot more too.
You're right. I probably will.
Maybe you should do that.
I think I might.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But speaking of the Ultra Brothers, Mill Creek has announced a Blu-ray release for the Superior 8 Ultra Brothers film on March 3rd. I've heard really, really cool things about this from a friend of the show, Jared. It's like delightfully meta in that the television show Ultraman actually exists in the universe of this film, while Shin Hayata, Dan Moroboshi, Hideki Go, and Seiji Hokuto, who are the hosts of Ultraman, Ultra 7, Ultraman Jack, and Ultraman Ace, respectively, like they were all still Ultras, but they've retired now and are just vibing in their old age. Like I think, I'm trying to remember what I saw. I think Shin owns like a repair shop or something, or maybe that's Hideki because his friends had that in Return of Ultraman. I think Seiji is owns like a bakery and stuff. So yeah, I'm really excited to finally watch this because it's not really been very easily available for us here in the States, as most of these Ultraman shows are. So once again,
I was gonna say this should not be surprising to you.
Yeah, no, not at all.
It's been available,
especially the newer, the later stuff. Like the show us, Shout Factory did a bunch of Ultra, they did. I think they only did Ultra Q, Ultraman, and Ultra 7. but like which are kind of like the most well known, I guess. But all the newer stuff, if unless you'd watched like Ultraman Tiga on Fox Kids back in the day, like that's really about it. So yeah, Superior 8 Ultra Brothers, buy it because it's really good, from what I've heard.
Yes. Okay. Well, one last update on the Kickstarter campaign for Keizo Murase's Brush of the God. It's been funded. Well, we knew that already, but the campaign has ended, coming in at a total of 2,225,052 yen, just over double what the initial goal was, which is simply incredible. As per the most recent update, Howl from Beyond the Fog director and the cinematographer for Brush, Daisuke Sato said, "Thank you so much, backers. We'll make a movie that will live up to your expectations. Please look forward to it. Thank you again." Per a previous update, Sato says they hope to begin shooting the film next month. Rest assured, we'll give you any updates as they come in. I am excited about this, and I'm so happy it got funded.
So am I. I literally the because Kickstarter, when a campaign ends, they'll have like the percentage of it funded. 220% funded.
Yeah,
like that's,
I'm fucking psyched about this.
I'm so happy for them.
This is any kaiju fan, honestly, like, should be fucking pumped about this.
Yeah, I mean, when the campaign first went live and we were talking about it, like I went through everything Keizo Murase's worked on, and it's a long list of things every kaiju fan has seen. Like, yeah. It's like, yeah. And this is
there's no reason why any self-respecting kaiju or tokusatsu fan should overlook this. This is gonna be great.
Yeah,
I am very excited to see this when it comes out.
Yeah, and you'll see my name in the credits.
Yeah,
I'll be there.
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to spend that much money.
That's all right.
I have to pay my rent. I have to pay my rent and other expenses, so I don't really have, what was it, $200 to throw.
I'm curious now, Brian. I wonder how many heads sold.
Oh yeah, you gotta look it up.
Yeah,
that was the thing.
I gotta see how many heads sold.
How many were available again? Was it 8?
Hold on, let's see. There were 15.
15. Jesus.
There were okay. So 4 people got heads. So someone else got a head, because I think last time we checked it was 3 of them.
Yeah.
So someone else got a head.
How much was that tier? How much do you have to pay for that?
It was 250,000 yen, which is around $2,000. I think we determined.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Okay. I definitely could not afford that.
Yeah. No.
Because that is a little that's too much money. I'd have to throw my savings at that, and I don't want to do that.
I don't blame you for that. But yeah, Brush of the God, it's happening. It's coming to a, I'm not gonna say theater, because there's no way it's gonna be shown in theaters here in the States. But it's most likely SRS Cinema will be the one to pick it up.
Yeah, probably.
If we're being honest. So probably look forward to that. Maybe that's a big scoop we're covering. It's gonna surprise no one, but I can almost guarantee SRS will be the one to pick it up.
Maybe this will make all of the kaiju news people love us. We make accurate predictions. We get let into the club.
Maybe I should finally get in touch with Ron Bong, get him on the podcast as a guest, and be like, hey, you guys planning on bringing Brush the God over here when it comes out?
And then he gives an answer and said, all right, thanks for the interview.
Yeah, and then we end the episode 5 minutes.
And then we end the episode. It's a one word answer. Like, all right, thanks for listening.
All right. See you guys next week.
Perfect.
I put in finally here because it was the last piece of news, but Brian bamboozled me and was like, "Oh, I got a piece of news that I'm going to put in the at the end." It's not.
I
even
can say
really
my
news.
piece of news first.
All right, you can
it's very
say
fast.
yeah. It's quick. It's barely even news. It's just something cool.
All right. So for all the
gamers out there,
all the gamers out there, or people who have an immense respect for building computers, or just computer components in general, that also like Evangelion, which if you are in the camp of people that like both of those, you've definitely already heard about this. But in case you haven't, MSI and I guess Evangelion partnered to make Evangelion-themed components specifically for Unit 01. Man, I wish I could show them to you because they look fucking sick. I think I sent you a picture of it, Dave.
you did. It looked very cool.
It looks really sick. Like I don't even know how to describe it. It's Unit 01 themed, so there you go.
So green and purple.
Like all green and purple. It's got like all these cool designs and shit. And I really like it. So if it is available in the West, which is a toss-up whether it is or not, because there's a lot of themed stuff. Like I know that there's a lot of like Gundam themed. Like I think MSI did a lot of like the Gundam themed stuff, but that was only available in Japan.
So who knows with this one?
It's very possible. It's very possible that this will only be available in Japan as well, but you never know because Evangelion's kind of gotten a lot of exposure.
I mean, so is Gundam.
So maybe so is Gundam. I mean, yeah. I mean, there's a bajillion Gundam things on Netflix right now.
Yeah, exactly.
But like every week I've checked on like what's popular on Netflix. Evangelion's always in the top 10. So I figured maybe MSI is just like, well, I mean, maybe we'll release in the West, more money. I don't see why not.
Yeah. Cross your fingers, I guess.
Yeah. But for anyone wondering, the components that they are making that are the themed ones is a mid-tower case, a motherboard. I think it's I don't remember exactly what socket type it is, but for all you fucking nerds, you can look it up. And then a power supply. The power supply, it looks like the Ava cage that like the Avas are stored in.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty cool. Because like you can see it through the way that the case is set up is it has like a PSU cover and it's got a window in it like the cage. It's pretty cool.
Very nice.
Yeah,
I like that.
And then it's got like a 01 on the side of the
very
PSU
nice
that comes through the window. It's really cool. Anyone who's interested, take a look. Like go on like tomshardware.com. They've got a whole article on it. So anyone interested in that, just keep an eye on it because I sure as hell am. If it comes out, I'm buying it, all of it.
Well, I'll wish you luck, Brian.
I am enslaved to this series at this point. All right. Go on, Dave.
All right.
Story.
Finally, we here at Talking Toku want to send some love to Akira Takarada, who unfortunately had to cancel his upcoming appearance at Northeast Comic-Con and Collectibles Extravaganza here in the Boston area. Takarada recently suffered a seizure involving his heart and is currently in the hospital recovering. Thankfully, his condition is not life-threatening, but he'll still need some time to rest before doing anything big like conventions. Yeah, so rest well, Takarada-san, and we hope to see you here in the States when you're good and healthy, and hopefully when everyone else is good and healthy, but it's the United States, and there's still a pandemic, so that probably won't happen.
Yeah, I mean, a great, good call on his part. I hope he feels better. Glad it's not life-threatening. That shit's scary, though.
Yeah, absolutely. I was
definitely, even if he is recovered by that time, like, it's probably not the best decision to press your luck while there's a global health calamity going on, especially in Boston, which has been extremely up and down.
Yeah, Omicron's been kind of going wild here.
Yeah, even though people are saying like it may actually end the pandemic status sooner, which I
doubt that.
Well, the reason why is because they said that so many people are getting it so fast that people will build up a natural immunity this way.
I don't think that.
And because it's less, because this is not a health podcast, but TLDR, the virus, this variant of the virus traded its lethality for transmissibility, which means that more people are getting it, but they are not being killed as fast, I guess. Therefore, more people will get the antibodies, which will protect them from the virus in the future, ending its pandemic status. That being said, there's so many people in this godforsaken country and on this earth that not everyone's going to get it, which means that it's probably not going to, and which means that all of the same plays that have been there for ending the pandemic status are probably still the correct plays.
Yeah.
So don't go out and try to get Omicron on purpose, because you're a dumbass if you do. There you go. You're welcome.
Talking Toku getting political.
Yep. Very political.
Yeah.
Godzilla's definitely not political.
Yeah, not at all.
Nope. And that being said, most kaiju stuff is not political either.
No, not in the least.
Definitely not. Definitely not joking right now, for sure. Definitely not.
Mothra and Mothra versus Godzilla are definitely 100% not about capitalism in any shape or form.
It's just big monster fight.
Yeah.
Big monster. That's it.
Exactly.
That's all it's about.
Oh, speaking of Mothra, have you watched Peacemaker yet?
No.
Oh, he makes a Mothra reference in the first episode.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. So
I haven't really been watching TV.
You should absolutely watch Peacemaker. It's really, really good.
Okay. All right.
But it's just a throwaway line, so I'll spoil it. But like an offshoot of Argus comes to Peacemaker. It takes place like right after the Suicide Squad, and an offshoot of Argus like comes to Peacemaker, and they're like, "Oh, we need your help with dealing with this thing called Project Butterfly," and he's like, you guys are not really known for originality with names, so Project Starfish, I fought a giant starfish. Project Butterfly, am I fighting a Mothra? And then they're just like silent. He's like, wait, shit, am I actually fighting a Mothra?
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's the first 3 episodes dropped last week, and I'll say it, probably one of the best opening title sequences of any TV show ever.
Okay. I was gonna ask if it was if it all came dropped at once, or if it's being dropped weekly.
Yeah, and it seems like Netflix is kind of the only one that drops things all at once. Every other streaming service does it weekly.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Merits to both.
Yeah.
Anyways.
All right.
Done with news.
Yeah, done with the news. We're on to our r/Godzilla block, but we kind of forgot to get one / didn't have time, so we tried to look for something real quick before we started recording. But guess what? We're actually gonna be nice to r/Godzilla today. Can you guys believe it?
We're only being nice because we didn't have enough time to be mean.
Yeah, no. That's absolutely true.
r/Godzilla really just time is their ally.
Yeah, I mean, we'd probably both frequent Reddit pretty often, and I don't recall seeing anything too egregious in the last couple weeks, and so that at least merited talking about. So we're gonna be nice, and we're gonna take this Godzilla MonsterVerse quiz from you Acceptable Moose 832.
Okay,
because he's the one who made the quiz. So
good for him.
Yeah, I don't know how many questions this is going to be, but we'll have some fun. How many questions? There's 20 questions. Okay. All right. So how do you want to do this, Brian? Should we just read the questions one at a time, and then we'll agree on an answer? I think that's how the boys at the Weekly Planet do it.
But is this quiz? Is it like? Does it have like jumbled questions, or does it go in?
I assume it goes in one order.
Okay, what's the first question you have?
All right. In which year was Godzilla attacked with a nuclear bomb?
Yeah, I have that one.
Okay, so the options are 1947, 1967, 1954, and 1998.
Gotta be 54.
It's 100% 54.
It has to be.
Oh, it's okay. So
it's
not. Yeah, we gotta wait till the end. All right. All right, question 2. What was the name of Joe Brody's wife? We have Sandra, Vivian, Allison, and Jennifer. Yeah, it's Sandra.
It's got to be Sandra.
Definitely Sandra.
Listen, I've watched this movie so much, okay? I know everything.
Where did the second Muto emerge from in Godzilla 2014? It was Vegas, right?
Yeah, because she gambles.
Yeah.
She's got a real gambling problem.
Yeah, so the options are San Francisco, Las Vegas, Janjira, and Los Angeles. And instead, it's Vegas. Yeah.
Fourth question is such specific answers.
I'm reading all the questions, Ryan. You read some.
All right. 4. How did Godzilla defeat the first Muto in Godzilla 2014? A. He used his atomic breath. B. He stabbed to death with part of a building. Man, that would have been cool to see if that happened. C. He sent it crashing into a fiery pit. Wow.
That would also have been cool.
That also would have been funny. D. He used his tail to launch it into a building. It's got to be that because I will never forget the sound effect they used.
It's a very satisfying thump.
Yep. Complete the media's headline for Godzilla's victory. King of the Monsters. I'm pretty sure Savior of our City question mark.
That's actually a pretty solid question, though. Like, I know the answer, but, like, that's a good one.
For anyone who hasn't watched it since it came out, they would not know this.
Probably not, no. But we've seen it too many times.
I'm pretty sure it's Savior. I'm like, I know it's Savior of Our City, but it's always because I like someone wrote that headline.
Oh yeah,
no, like, I'm just as confused as
so
you.
The options are Savior of Our City ? Godzilla reigns supreme, Giant Lizard emerges victorious, and What does Godzilla want? But it's definitely Savior of Our City.
Oh, what does Godzilla want?
I don't know. Who knows?
Sushi. Sushi.
All right. Scientists Ishiro Serizawa and Vivian Graham discover 2 spores in an excavation site in the Philippines. What is the status of the spores? These are some pretty solid questions. Like, if we weren't fucking nerds, Brian, this would be a harder quiz, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if this movie wasn't my favorite of the MonsterVerses after Kong Skull Island, I probably wouldn't have remembered this.
Yeah.
Man, once they move on to Godzilla King of the Monsters questions, I'm not gonna know shit, dude.
I doubt that. We've both seen that movie enough times, despite our dislike for it, that we'll probably still know all the questions.
Fair enough.
A, both spores are dormant. B, both spores have hatched. C, both spores have been eaten by Godzilla. D, one is dormant, one is hatched. It's D.
It's D, but I like C because if that happened, it would have
the movie wouldn't have happened.
It would have just rolled credits.
So we're getting into Godzilla vs. Kong questions now. What is Bernie's podcast called?
Oh fuck! I don't know this.
Monarch Mayhem, Godzilla Truth Bombs. I kind of like that one. Titan Truth Podcast or Hollow Truth. Those are actually pretty solid names, but it's Titan Truth Podcast.
I don't know this one. I haven't seen Godzilla vs. Kong since it came out.
I'm pretty sure it's C, Titan Truth Podcast.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm trusting you.
What's the name of the company that built Mechagodzilla? Titan?
I know it.
Kaiju,
I know.
Monarch, or Apex? Apex.
I know that
Apex.
It's D.
Yeah.
Because I kept thinking about how cool of a name that is, and then I remembered that that's because, like the rogue, like Jaeger thing from Pacific Rim, the Black is called Apex.
Yeah. That's right.
I was like, oh, that's a cool name.
I think we mentioned that when we covered probably Godzilla vs. Kong. I think that came out after the Black.
Yeah.
All right. What was?
No, wait. No, it didn't.
Did it? I don't remember.
No way.
Hold on.
Because Godzilla vs. Kong was like.
It was mid-May.
We covered it before we covered Pacific Rim: The Black.
Or mid-March rather.
I'm pretty sure, at least.
I don't know. Pacific Rim: The Black came out March 24th, or March 4th. I think we did Godzilla vs. Kong after.
Oh
yeah,
well.
Yeah. Godzilla vs. Kong was the end of March.
Okay. Well,
All right. So, what was King Ghidorah's code name? The Hydra, the Three-Headed Beast, Monster Zero, or the Lightning King? Wow, that last one's awful.
can you imagine if they called him that in the movie?
That the movie would go for me personally from a 2.5 down to a 1 if that was his name.
Oh
But-
my god, that would have been so
but
fucking
it's
funny.
but it's Monster Zero,
Can you imagine they're talking about how like
the
they're
Lightning
playing like
King.
they were talking all serious about him and got the his theme playing and the sense of dread, and then some dickhead calls him the Lightning King. I'd be like on the floor laughing.
All right, so
oh my
this
god.
next one has some pretty interesting answers too. So it's what was the device Emma used to wake the Titans called? So it's the collar, the orca, the radiator, or the apneas.
Like sleep apnea?
That's the only thing I can think of. Is there any other kind of apnea? I
Let me
googled
look.
apnea,
Apnea.
and the first thing that came up was sleep apnea. So
There it is.
I don't know what that
Oh,
I don't know what that means, but it's the orca.
oh, that's a horrible diagram for sleep apnea on the
No,
On the
I
Google
already
page.
closed the tab.
Oh, that poor man, he looks dead.
Well, that's what sleep apnea does to you.
Yeah. Anyways, the answer is the orca.
Yeah.
'Cause of course it is. All right. Oh. Oh, I remember now.
What's the question, Brian? Tell us.
11. What is Madison's dead brother name?
Why'd you have to include the fact that he's like? I know it's a plot point in the movie, but just say his
Dead.
Just say what's Madison's brother's name.
Brother's dead. A. Alex. B. Watson. C. Jackson. Or D. Andrew.
It's
Man.
Andrew. It's Andrew because
Watson would have been a hilarious name.
it's Andrew because Kyle Chandler is screaming Andrew throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, I mean that's just.
I guess
that's
not really.
What I
through the-
immediately.
It's
what I
mostly
immediately
just
thought
the
of.
beginning of the movie, not the whole movie. I'm sorry.
That's what I immediately thought of when I was reading this question. I was like, I thought about it for a second, and then I just remember, just everyone, just the beginning of the movie. He's yelling Andrew. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, he died, and then they forgot about him for the rest of the movie until they needed to try and convince another person to not be bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Next question.
Yeah.
12. Which iconic baseball stadium was destroyed during Godzilla and Ghidorah's epic final battle? I like how they had to include epic.
Yeah, of course.
Epic. A. SunTrust Park. B. Fenway Park. C. Wrigley Field. D. Yankee Stadium. It's Fenway.
Yeah, I've never heard of SunTrust Park, but then again, I don't like baseball, so
Yeah. I don't know. What is 13? What is Madison's last name? A. Anderson. B. O'Brien. C. Wyatt. Or D. Russell.
so if they had gone with the name Watson for her brother, we could have gotten Watson Wyatt. That would have been an interesting name.
Could have also gotten Watson O'Brien, which, yeah, that would have been a name.
Yeah, but it's D. Russell.
Yep.
All right.
Man, I thought I was gonna eat ass at these Godzilla King
We
monsters.
haven't gotten any Skull Island questions. I mean, I guess it
No,
says
I think they
Godzilla
might have
MonsterVerse
forgot.
knowledge quiz, not MonsterVerse. Oh well,
Fair.
that's disappointing. Anyways, which Titan is awoken from a volcano in Isla del Mara, Mexico? Either Rodan, Scylla, Mothra, or Methuselah. It's Rodan. The big.
course.
'Cause-
Yeah, I mean, if they actually had a question that was asking about any of the other monsters, I wouldn't have
No,
known.
no, I would not have known either. Because Brian, as we both know, in that movie during Rodan's awakening, Rodan he do a spin.
Yes, that's true. Oh, this one's actually kind of. I mean, if you don't pay attention to
Yeah.
like the subtitles, you might not know it. 15. What country are Emma and Madison living in when the film starts? A, Japan, B, Mexico, C, China, or D, India? I am fairly certain it's China.
It is China. I think.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was China.
Yeah.
I don't think it was Japan.
Okay. Okay? Well, this is
16.
not helpful. What city does Godzilla attack in the first scene? The first scene of what exactly?
What the fuck? What?
I mean, I know it's Godzilla versus Kong because that's what the screenshot is from, and that's the only answer that makes sense. But like, you gotta word the question right, man.
Dude, I don't,
You can't just say the
Florida?
first scene. It is Florida. When that's not even a city, that's a state. But come on, man. The first scene. Okay, well, the first scene of Godzilla 1954.
Also, if you hadn't watched any of these movies in a while, this picture of Godzilla is so nondescript.
It
about
is
which
very
movie it is.
nondescript. Jesus Christ.
Listen, the only reason I know this isn't Godzilla 2014 is because it would have been dark.
It would have been very dark, yeah. All right.
Okay, so the totally not a city, Florida,
Yeah.
is the answer.
The city of Florida.
Yeah.
All right. Whose skull powers Mechagodzilla? Is it Ghidorah, Rodan, Destroya, or Muto? Well, Destroya hasn't appeared in the MonsterVerse yet, and hopefully never will. It's Ghidorah, because Rodan's still alive as far as we know.
Yeah, I mean, we talked extensively about how cool of an idea that was and how much they totally squandered it.
Yeah, they didn't really do much with it.
Yeah.
So, oh well.
Okay, 18. How is Kong's heart restarted?
This is a decent one, too.
A ship's engine. B, lightning. C, an electrical tower. Or D, an experimental laser. I'm pretty sure D would have killed him.
Probably,
So,
yeah.
No.
I like how it says a lightning, not just lightning.
A lightning. I'm fairly certain it's A.
It is A. Because that was the only thing the main character did that had any consequence in the movie, is that he helped revive Kong.
Yes. Oh, this one's actually good if you don't pay attention.
It is.
19. Who is the first kaiju that Mechagodzilla fights? A, Kong. B, Godzilla. C, Skullcrawler. D, Mothra. See, I'm a little torn on this one because how this quiz has gone, I don't know if even they know. Technically, the first thing he fights is a Skullcrawler.
It is.
But it's not even really a fight.
Yeah, that's true.
The Skullcrawler can't really fight back.
Skullcrawler makes the most sense. It is technically correct, which is the best kind.
Yeah.
So I'm going with Skullcrawler.
It's right, even if it's wrong.
All right. Final question. What is the anti-gravity pod that Nathan Lind... Oh, what is the anti-gravity pod called that Nathan Lind drives? Is it KG 1954, Hollow, Heave, or Arc? It's Heave, because everything else sounds stupid.
Yeah.
All right, let's see how we did. 20 out of 20. Look at us go, Brian.
Yeah, we did it.
We're real
If I
fans.
scored like this in school, I would be rich.
Right? I agree.
Yup. I never would have dropped out of college.
We just got to make a college of Godzilla knowledge, and then we'll graduate with PhDs.
We'll graduate every year.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Okay.
Well, that does it for our r/Godzilla segment. That was actually kind of fun. I liked that.
That was fun. We should look for more quizzes.
Yeah, I would love to do more quizzes.
Maybe some that are a little bit more descriptive in their questions.
We gotta find like a master quiz with like really hard questions. That would be
there
really
was that
fun.
Godzilla quiz like from a couple of years back that people took.
I don't remember that, but
you know, there was like this Godzilla quiz thing for like I don't remember. It was like a couple of years ago, and I remember you were telling me about it and how difficult it was. I don't remember.
I don't know, man. It was years ago now. I don't remember stuff like that. But
Fair enough.
all right, it's time to talk about how fucking rad Mechagodzilla is. Also, speaking of Mechagodzilla, I meant to point out during that quiz that every Mechagodzilla question used the exact same picture of him.
Yeah. 'Cause why not? Why would you put any effort in?
I don't know. There's that.
I
mean, if you wanna like fuck with the people taking your quiz for the who does he fight first question, you could have used that picture of him punching Godzilla that I've been seeing a lot float around on the internet recently.
True.
Just to be like, oh, there's the picture of him fighting Godzilla. The answer must be Godzilla. But anyways, yeah, Mechagodzilla, he's cool.
Yeah, he is.
All right, cool. That's the show. Good night, everyone.
Yeah. Good night.
Could you imagine if we ended the episode right there?
Just a hard cut. Just outro.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right.
Good podcast. Good job.
Yeah, we did it.
But what if we just ended the podcast like that? We never record another episode.
That was our last episode. Just Mechagodzilla. He's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it.
Oh my god. Yeah, that would have been good.
Yeah, that would have been a good joke.
Okay, but how do we want to do? Do we just want to talk about each incarnation, or like?
I said we could. My outline said opened with history. Like short description about what he's generally been all about. Incarnations, our thoughts on said incarnations, and then I guess like any other.
And then we can just ramble maybe. Okay.
Yeah, well, let me open up old Wikipedia here.
I see. I'm on Wikizilla. I got the good stuff.
All right, fine.
They'll have more information than Wikipedia, you know?
Fine, fuck you. I guess I'll go look.
Yeah, so it's a little. I'm gonna bring up Mechagodzilla Showa, who's come on, he's the best version. He's the best version of Mecha. Okay. Personally, I like Mechagodzilla 2, the one from Terror of Mechagodzilla. I think, the slightly darker color scheme works better. But I don't know. I mean, Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla is the superior film to Terror of Mechagodzilla, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's start. Did you want to open with history or whatever?
I mean, how do you want to do history? Like, do you want me to go into the behind the scenes development of the film, or like?
I don't know, just like first appearance, I guess.
Well, the man himself first appeared in Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. What? What?
Don't worry about it.
What are you groaning about, Brian?
No, nothing. Just how loose this episode is.
Good. That's how I wanted it.
Not enough. Nope. Not enough planning in the world could prepare me for a simple conversation about Mechagodzilla.
I know, right? Who would have thought? But character first appeared in Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, which Brian and I have talked about. It's our favorite of the entire series, and at least in my case, one of my favorite movies of all time.
Same. Some of the best music.
Oh my god, yes.
Series.
Which reminds me, actually, I think the CDs for the concert we went to at G-Fest are going to be shipping out pretty soon.
Ooh.
So once that shows up, I will definitely drop it on my computer, and I'll send you the drive file for it. So
please, I will cherish those.
I think John said that they were going to be up for sale a little later in the year as well. So, but I get one because I donated to the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Anyways, right. Yeah, Mechagodzilla. He's a cool guy. Showed up in 1974, and goddamn, like that design is like such a 70s design too. I don't know. I don't even know what I mean by that. But like, if you see him, it's a very 70s design. Like, am I wrong? You know
what
he's
about.
Yeah, you know what he's about.
You know what he's all about. He's here to have a good time.
He's here to have a good. I don't know about a good time. He's here to fuck shit up, absolutely. But I don't know if he's here to have a good time.
Well, I mean, he's having a good time in his own way.
That's true.
Like his good time is not our definition of a good time.
So Brian, here's the thing. Did James Cameron steal the idea of the Terminator from Mechagodzilla?
Absolutely.
Because we first see Mechagodzilla, he's what's called fake Godzilla. He's in a synthetic Godzilla suit that's covering all the mechanical stuff. So I don't know, James Cameron.
Personally, I think that it was a huge missed opportunity. They could have had the skin suit come off in a much more graphic way.
Brian, it was the 1970s.
I know. That was a joke. I just wanted them to make it come off like it was the Terminator or some shit, where you've got like Mechagodzilla's glowing eyes coming through with like blood coming down.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty sick, but obviously probably wouldn't have cut it.
But I gotta say, like the reveal scene in that film is like, it's so good because like you got two Godzillas facing off against each other, and then Kuronuma's like, "Oh, Godzilla, you're a fucking bitch. Take some of this." And then he activates Mechagodzilla to shed the skin, and it does that really cool, like, weird silver flame effect. And then the music kicks in right as you see Mechagodzilla in all his glory, and it's so good.
It is.
I constantly get that music sting stuck in my head. That like dun 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 dun.
They use that exact scene in the Godzilla PS4 game to introduce.
They do
Godzilla
because it's such an iconic reveal for the character.
Yeah. I mean, it fits well because he's here to fuck shit up.
He's here to fuck shit up. I will say,
like literally the entire wherever he was during that scene was just on fire. So
yeah,
makes sense.
I think we're in. I mean, we already said that this is probably the best version of the character, but like, I think a big part of that is his origin, the fact that he's, you know, a creation of aliens rather than humans.
Yep.
It's just a more interesting origin story for the character that they reused for the Polygon trilogy, which we'll get to in a little bit, but I don't know, man. This one's just more interesting. He looks cooler. He does more. I mean, the Mechagodzilla and the Polygon trilogy don't do much in that movie.
Yeah, he doesn't. I think one of my favorite things about this incarnation of Mechagodzilla is this one is just absolutely loaded with weaponry.
Yeah, I mean that's a big thing with all Mechagodzillas so far.
It is a big thing with every Mechagodzilla, but I feel like this one specifically, something about it. I think it's just how he has rocket launchers everywhere.
Yeah, I'll read off his abilities here. So we got the space beams, which are his like cool rainbow eyes, which I love those how those look. I got the missiles. Does it say how many missiles he's got? Let's see.
I mean, it's his fingers and toes.
Oh no! He's got more than that.
Yeah.
So it says Mechagodzilla has an apparatus mounted in its neck called the Trace device, which allows for firing a large quantity of small missiles. Though this ability goes unused in both of Mechagodzilla's film appearances. So he's got the finger missiles. He's got the Homyu shot, which is his knees, and then the high pressure homing missiles, which are his toes. So, yeah.
Gotta say though, those toe rockets, shooting them is probably not as advantageous as you might think, because then he might lose his balance.
Yeah, I mean, you see in the movie when he uses them, he has to like step up on a rock to use them.
Yeah.
So yeah,
they seem like a last resort thing, but like that's, you know, regardless, I really just like how stacked with weapons this Mechagodzilla is. It seems much more like, I guess crude is the best answer, or the best word.
Yeah.
Like, he seems literally just like a rocket truck that grew up and turned into a giant mechanical version of Godzilla. Well, I love it.
We still got some abilities to go through, Brian. I haven't even gotten to the more weirder stuff.
Okay.
The cross attack beam, which is the thing in his chest that like can cut shit in half, which is really cool. This one has always fascinated me because I didn't realize it was a thing until very recently. The Unisot, which is the end of his tail, which acts as a flight stabilizer. Apparently, we never see it in either of the movies, but apparently that thing can be detached and used as a weapon.
Oh, hell yeah. Like a bat?
Well, it's a blade, so I assume more like a sword or a machete.
Oh, hell yeah.
So
I wish they used that.
Yeah, that would have been pretty cool.
God damn, that's sick.
Yeah. And we never see him use like the fire breath after he sheds the fake Godzilla skin too. But I'm pretty sure you could still use it. I mean, the Wikizilla page has a clip of him using it from Godzilla Unleashed. So, oh god, I can't get out of here. There we go. He's got that really. I love the force field he does when he spins his head around. I've always that was, I think when I was a kid, that was always one of my favorite scenes in the movie when he used that.
Yeah, I like that. I still just like how confused Godzilla looks when he starts doing it.
That's always fun.
It's like, I'd probably have the same look on my face.
And then he tries to brute force it and gets his ass handed to him.
Yeah.
Which is funny.
I think I really like that move because it shows up in every single Godzilla game.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was I think it's in Godzilla PS4 when you do enough damage to Mechagodzilla, his head falls off.
Yeah. I think it only does that for Mechagodzilla 2 because that's the one where in Terror of Mechagodzilla they give him like the brain underneath the head, so in case Godzilla tries decapitating him again, you can still operate.
Right.
Which I do like. It's a very interesting design, but like it's become kind of iconic now. Just that like weird cybernetic brain underneath his head that I think it can shoot a laser or something.
I think so. I think it shoots like a beam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty certain.
Let's see. What else we got in here? What else does Wikizilla give us for good old Showa Mechagodzilla? Oh, that's fucking right. I forgot about that. In the last IDW Godzilla series, Rulers of Earth, there was a whole army of Showa Mechagodzillas.
Oh god.
That was created by like the main villain of the series, but he was posing as like one of Russia's leaders. So like the thing is, Mechagodzilla is like a Russian weapon, which honestly fits the design very well, I think. Like I even think, hold on, I want to see if I can find the cover for it. No, that's not what I want. I want to say the cover that he debuted in is literally maybe not. One of the covers for it was like just like a Mechagodzilla standing over oh god, what's the thing called in Russia? Like the big church looking thing.
I know
god.
this, but I also don't.
Oh, what's it called? Oh my god.
The Kremlin?
The Kremlin. No, is it? No, it is the Kremlin. Yeah, it's the Kremlin. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Fucking picture.
They got weird architecture over there.
Yeah, it's just Mechagodzilla like standing over the Kremlin while a bunch of it's a tad racist. While a bunch of Russians in like Ushankas are drinking vodka and like shouting. It's a really funny cover, but
yeah, but how do you know that that's not what it's like there?
I don't know. I guess I've never been to Russia, so I wouldn't know. You got
Maybe
me,
we
Brian.
should take a trip.
Just
go to Russia.
It's cold in Russia, man. I ain't going there.
Just to verify the accuracy of this picture.
I really want to see if there it is. I found it. Here we go. I'm gonna put this in the doc for you because it's a pretty nice cover. There you go. Take a look at that.
Taking a minute. Oh, there it is. Oh my god.
It's such a cool cover. I love it so much.
You know what? Honestly, it kind of goes really well with like the very utilitarian Russian like stuff, like their military stuff. It looks like, you know what I mean. Like you got that old like Soviet era like look.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And then you just got Mechagodzilla, and it just fits. Yeah, I like that. That's sick.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I still gotta reread Rulers of Earth at some point.
Yeah,
I don't know.
but that design, it's so good. Like even here on this cover, like it looks really sick. Like to this day,
Yeah,
I think
I'm of the opinion that
really cool.
that Toho has yet to top this design for Mechagodzilla. Like they from a visual standpoint, they came really close with Kiryu, but it's still not it's not close enough to beat.
I mean,
the original.
even the Mechagodzilla that we see at the end of Godzilla Singular Point is very close to this.
Yeah, which
I think it has the potential to at least meet this design, depending on how they make it look if there's a follow-up season. Because the protruding bone
that is a nice
really,
touch. That's a nice touch.
Really,
I will say.
really cool touch. I like that, especially how it's made out of a skeleton.
Yeah, so they're kind of combining the visual aesthetic of this one with the ideas of Kiryu, which is really cool. So
yeah, I'm very excited to see a second season of Singular Point with Mechagodzilla looking like that.
Yeah. Who knows if we'll get it, but we'll find out at some point.
I hope
hopefully.
so. I think there's a good point, a good chance. I mean, a good chance.
Well, we'll let you know when it happens. Hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, we sit here all day, hunched over our computers.
Yeah, just waiting for it to be confirmed.
Waiting for Godzilla news. Any news?
I know. It's been slow for Godzilla. Anything. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you want to move on? To,
we can move on to the 1993 Mechagodzilla, which you can call Super Mechagodzilla to.
Yeah, he's thick.
Everyone's thick in the Heisei series.
It's true. I really don't like this design.
See, here's the thing. Like, if you've seen the concept art for this film, every single other design for Mechagodzilla is like significantly cooler looking than what they finally ended up going with, which really sucks.
Yeah, it's just like I look at it and I just think, oh, that's so lame.
I think it's too streamlined, you know? It looks not too perfect. It's too streamlined. Like it just seems too smooth. Like I still like the design,
that's the big thing.
But I think it's I don't know if it's the worst design. I'm not sure yet.
The thing that like makes me dislike it, I think, the most is every other Mechagodzilla design is very angular and it's got a lot of pointed edges, and it is made to mimic the physique and look of Godzilla, the Godzilla of that time.
I mean, you can kind of say this one.
You can say that this one does, but this one, the big difference that this one has is this one is very smooth, doesn't have a lot of sharp edges, and it just doesn't look as like metallic. It looks plasticky, in my opinion. Even in the movies, like not even with these screenshots, it just looks like it's made out of plastic. So, and then, on top of that, it just looks humanoid, which is a little off-putting to me. It with getting rid of the of course the face and the tail and the spikes or whatever. it does look really humanoid. Like it's got humanoid arms, and I mean, if you like thick people, it got humanoid legs too. But like, it just doesn't. It's not a good design. It really doesn't look that good, or it doesn't look good at all, in my opinion. Uh, I can see why someone may like it, but not for me. The only thing I like about it is how he's got that big fucking backpack that's got the big old guns on it.
Oh yeah,
I think that's
Garuda.
cool.
Yeah, I think adding Garuda, like Mechagodzilla 1993, okay design. Super Mechagodzilla when he combines with Garuda, I think is a much more interesting design. Even though it's literally just two things fusing together into one being. Like
Yeah.
it just looks more visually interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do we want to go over how cool, all his cool abilities too? Because he's almost more stacked in ability in weapons than Showa Mechagodzilla.
Yeah. Yeah. He's got a lot more like directed energy weapons.
Yeah, he's got the Mega Buster, which is a stupid name.
Deal. Yeah, that is a dumb name.
But it's his little rainbow beam that he shoots.
He does have a really cool weapon that I like, which is the it's like the tether thing.
Oh, the G Crusher.
Yeah, that's a really
basically
cool
kill
weapon.
Godzilla.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean I do like the way the character was used in the film. It's just not a very interesting looking character.
Yeah, it just doesn't really do it for me.
I like how one of the abilities listed here is literally hover attack, which is he can use his jets to hover and use any attacks. I don't think that counts as an ability, personally.
No. I mean, you can hover and then try and burn Godzilla with with the heat exhaust.
I guess. I don't think that's gonna do much except annoy him, but I do like the whole
getting farted on.
I do like the diamond coating that they have for him that makes him kind of impervious to Godzilla's heat ray. That's always nice.
Yeah,
really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fact
maybe that's why he looks so plasticky.
Maybe. And then I think it's really cool that at the end of the film, when Godzilla absorbs Rodan's life force and he becomes like the supercharged, the diamond coating literally melts off because there's so much energy.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah. And I liked how they visualized that too, because they literally like have the whole suit just steaming because it's all melting off of him.
Yeah, I actually haven't seen Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 2 in a hot minute.
Yeah, it's been a couple years for me.
I think the last time I watched it was with you, and it was so hard to get through.
It's a long movie.
It's an exhausting movie because it's just like Godzilla scenes.
Yeah,
really.
It ain't the best.
Easily one of the best examples of why just Godzilla does not work.
Yeah, we've talked about it multiple times. We ain't gonna talk about it more, at least not this time.
No, we will not.
We can't get into that topic any longer.
Go back and watch any number of episodes before this.
Yeah,
specifically the Godzilla King of the Monsters episode. That one.
Exactly.
Yeah. Do that. Okay. Any other cool ones?
Like abilities, you mean?
Yeah.
Not really. The plasma grenade. No, the plasma grenade. That's like his main thing. Like the fact that because the diamond coating like absorbs Godzilla's atomic breath, and the plasma grenade essentially redirects the atomic breath back at Godzilla.
When you said that, all I thought about was just like Mechagodzilla 2, just, hucking a plasma grenade from Halo.
I knew exactly where you were going with that the moment you started talking.
sticking Godzilla with it.
I never really did know why they called it a plasma grenade, because it's literally just another beam weapon. It's really not a grenade.
Is it like could be like maybe a mistranslation?
I don't know. Well,
I'm pretty sure
it has the
grenade is
original.
pretty.
It has the original Japanese name for it, and the Japanese name is literally Plasma Guneido.
Huh.
So I don't know.
Well, maybe Halo stole the plasma grenade from Godzilla.
Oh my god!
versus
Could you
Mechagodzilla 2.
imagine? Could you imagine? We just uncovered like like
It's a conspiracy.
a 20-year long conspiracy that no one knew about until just now.
Bungie's gonna blacklist me.
Oh my god! You'll never be able to play Halo ever again.
No. Oh no.
Oh well.
I'm so scared.
But
yeah. All right.
Hey, say Mechagodzilla, he's only all right. But
He's
now
a miss for me.
But now
except
we get
for the weaponry.
Yeah. But now we get to the best boy. Well, not the best boy, but he's
One of the best
he's the best
boys.
boy in my heart.
Yeah.
Because he's got a lot of spunk. He's a cool dude.
A bit moody too.
Yeah. That's one word for it.
Yeah.
Kiryu, like I said, this is the closest Toho's come to topping that original Mechagodzilla design because it's a great fucking look, and
It is a great look.
I'm gonna go similar to how I was talking about the original. I think his slight redesign in Tokyo SOS is better. Again, he's got kind of a darker color scheme. He's got the different pack on. He's got different blasters on his wrists, and he's got that drill hand that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a slightly better design. But they're both phenomenal looks, regardless.
See, I kind of like the blue backpack.
You like the blue?
Godzilla.
I don't blame you.
I like the color blue.
You do like the color blue.
A lot of listeners may know already. Blue is kind of my thing.
That is canon on Talking Toku, is that Brian likes blue.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, this design is definitely number 2 for me.
I agree.
I just really like the head.
Yeah, the head is a big part
so
of
good.
it. Yeah, because it seems it's kind of the most. This doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, like in the grand scheme of things, but it seems like it's like the most expressive.
Yeah,
if that makes any sense. All
right.
How about
intimidating.
This? How about this? I feel like the face has the most personality of all the other Mechagodzillas.
I was gonna say maybe the most character.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of the same thing. But yeah, he's good.
He's good. I would agree with you on that. I just remember seeing like these movies. I think it's been a little bit since I watched Godzilla Tokyo SOS, but I watched Godzilla against Mechagodzilla not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
And like I just loved every scene with Godzilla against Mechagodzilla. I think that like his rampage scene was just so cool, and like the design, it just like ups it, and yeah, just every moment of him on screen, like his presence is awesome.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, a big part of that is the fact that the production value of both those films are like incredible. Like I'm of the opinion that Against Mechagodzilla and Tokyo SOS have like the best use of tokusatsu in the Godzilla franchise, like since Eiji Tsuburaya was alive. Because like those miniature sets are some of the best in the franchise, like hands down. They are so good, and they're shot so damn well too. And
make me want to go back and watch Tokyo SOS. Dude.
I know. I watched Against Mechagodzilla. So. Yeah, I watched Against Mechagodzilla not too long ago myself, and I never got around to rewatching Tokyo SOS again, which is a really good movie because here's the thing. The interesting thing about Tokyo SOS, it does something very similar to something. I don't want to talk about this for too long, but because it's topical right now, it does something similar to Mechagodzilla 2 and King of the Monsters. No, it's not too much King of the Monsters, but Mechagodzilla 2. It's very action heavy. Like after a certain point, it's like all action up until the end.
Yep, I remember that.
But it integrates the characters into it really, really well. And
The end of the movie, there's a lot of like the last act. There's a lot of problem solving going on.
there is.
Between characters, and you have characters that are like trying to solve problems as they happen, and that's more interesting than just stuff happening and people watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't even talk about like the origin of this one, though. We didn't really talk about the origin of 93.
I mean, we kind of mentioned it when I mentioned
we alluded to
singular
it. Yeah.
Point.
But like,
I think it's pretty fucking sick.
It is like the fact that they dig up the bones of the original 1954 Godzilla and make him a cyborg. Like that's fucking rad.
Can I just say that I really appreciate the way that they like had people's reactions to seeing the bones of the 54 Godzilla. Like
that's such a cool scene.
I was like, damn, dude, like
if
I was them, I'd be fucking shocked too.
Like the fact, I love how they like make kind of like a spectacle out of it too. Like they're in that meeting room and the elevator's going down, and like they have this weird window that like focuses, and like everything's out of focus, and they're like, check this shit out, and they focus the window, and they see Godzilla's skeleton, and they're like, what the fuck?
They built that for the express reason of shocking everybody that will soon be working for them.
Yeah, they just spent all that money just to get a rise out of them. Which you know what?
They're like, hey,
good on
we're
them.
gonna spend millions upon millions of dollars building this facility.
Yeah.
But hey, make sure there's an elevator office thing that has a
weird focusing window.
Yeah. No, that's so cool. I really love the ideas that this movie has for Mechagodzilla.
Yeah.
And I really like how like it's very much like like the original Godzilla is like still somewhere in those bones.
Yeah. And that
like
a
ghost.
Yeah, I mean they cover that in Against Mechagodzilla, but then they like go a step further in Tokyo SOS in making Kiryu like his own, like he the bones kind of take over, but it's not really Godzilla because Kiryu is like trying to get Godzilla, like the current Godzilla, away from Japan. So he's kind of Godzilla, but he's kind of his own being at this point. Like he has gained consciousness.
Best case scenario Godzilla.
Yeah, best case scenario Godzilla. Yeah, but Kiryu like gains consciousness at the end of Tokyo SOS, which is such an interesting concept to me. And it's a shame that we never got a third film in this, which I think was the plan. I don't know. I mean, there is that after credit scene in Tokyo SOS where it shows that they have like a bunch of other DNA from other monsters from over the years. But yeah, we never saw a third film, which is upsetting.
Maybe someday.
I doubt it, but
I doubt it too.
All right, but here's the question: which of his big weapons do you prefer? Do you prefer the Absolute Zero or the triple mazer?
I love freezing weapons.
Yes,
so it's Absolute Zero.
Agreed.
Anything that has that uses freezing as a weapon, I love it. I think it's such a cool concept because there's been ice weapons in the Godzilla series before, but I don't think they've ever used them expressly to damage Godzilla.
Yeah.
Like they used them in, Godzilla versus Destroyer to stop his absolute meltdown, but it wasn't really fighting him with it. It was more just containing him with it. So I love the Absolute Zero. I think it's such a cool, iconic weapon, and I hope any Mechagodzilla adaptations in the future bring it back because I think it was a really awesome idea. And I love how it opens up like the chest.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd want them to bring it back because I want them to do different weapons for future incarnations. Like I don't want them to like reuse stuff.
I feel that maybe in that case maybe like some other maybe we'll see. I like to see more freezing weapons.
Yeah. All right. I'll give you that one.
Or like monsters that can freeze.
Yeah. Okay.
We don't really see a lot of that. We see a lot of energy beams and directed energy weapons and stuff like that, but we don't see anyone freezing anything.
Yeah.
Nah.
All right, Legendary, if you're listening, which I'm sure you do, you know what to do for the next MonsterVerse movie.
Make a Frosty boy.
Make a frosty boy. Yeah,
Yep.
that's what we need.
Yeah. What's the that kaiju from Ultra Q that like freezes shit?
Oh shoot,
I don't remember his name.
I don't know, but I know Barugan from Gamera versus Barugan has a freezing thing.
Okay.
He's got that weird tongue that shoots out freezing gas.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember the Ultra Q one though.
Make
Oh,
make more
Pegila.
stuff with the ability to freeze. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Oh, man. I love that monster design. So cool.
We're not talking about Pegila, Brian. We're talking about Mechagodzilla.
I know.
Do we have anything else to add about Kiryu?
I like the gauntlets that he's got.
Yeah, which apparently, according to Wikizilla, those are railguns. That's what they're called.
Fuck yeah. Oh my god, this is the most Halo Godzilla's ever gotten.
It really is. Oh my god, we didn't even.
Oh.
And speaking of those gauntlets, I forgot he has that fucking like knife that's in him.
Is it like a vibroblade?
It's an electric. It's electric.
Mm. I like it.
Yeah, 'cause remember he's grappling with Godzilla and he just kind of shanks him.
Oh yeah. I think I think Kiryu might be up there with the original Mechagodzilla in terms of like weaponry. I just love it. It's so varied and like a lot of it's just like crude.
Yeah,
like it's futuristic, but it's not like clean. It's like very militaristic.
Yeah. Oh god, I really want to watch USOS now.
Same.
God,
I'm in the mood for it.
I know. I'm tempted to watch it like tonight when I'm done with this, but like I watched Against Mechagodzilla with Crystal, my girlfriend, for anyone who doesn't know, and like I feel like if I watch Tokyo SOS, I should watch it with her so she can see the continuation of that story. But I don't know when I'm going to see her again, so I'm pissed. This sucks.
Oh well. I mean, listen. Let me put it this way: if you watch it and you are just like, "Man, that was awesome," then you'll have no problem watching it again.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Brian's
it's
big
not
brain
like you've
moments.
already seen it.
I
It's
know.
not like you've already seen it several times.
That's a very good point. I hadn't considered that.
What's two more watches in possibly quick succession gonna do?
Hadn't considered that.
All right. Well, I guess we can move on to the next incarnation, which I
the Polygon.
barely remembered. He doesn't do anything.
He really
He's
doesn't
dead.
because we don't see him. He's a city.
Yeah, he turned into a city.
We see him
remember
for a
this-
brief moment at the beginning of Planet of the Monsters in
When
the
he gets
prologue.
bodied.
Yeah, because they're trying to activate him and they can't.
Yep. He's lazy.
Yeah, but I do like.
I just remember how disappointed I was when I was just like, oh yeah, next movie, gonna have Mechagodzilla. Wasn't really crazy about the first one, but this one's got Mechagodzilla. It's gonna be great. Came out, Mechagodzilla literally does nothing the whole movie.
Yeah,
because
here's the thing. I love I love this version of Mechagodzilla conceptually. Well, like I do a lot of the things in the Polygon trilogy because all the concepts in that trilogy are really really cool and interesting. Mechagodzilla especially because he's made of nanometal, and so that's why he becomes a city, because there's nothing left on Earth, so it just grows into some weird living city. And then the characters in the film, including the Bilusalido aliens, who are essentially the black hole aliens from the original Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, they're like, yeah, let's just like become nanometal people. That's cool. That's what we wanted from the start. And then Haruo, the main character, is like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm not doing that shit.
Yeah.
And that's really where that movie becomes really interesting to me, because there's that really almost body horror aspect to the film.
I don't even really remember that. Again, I've only seen this movie once.
I've seen it only twice, I think. I saw it once when it came out, and then once after Planet Eater came out, when I watched all three in one sitting.
I remember that you and I watched Planet Eater.
We did.
I think Planet Eater is probably the best of the trilogy.
All right, this guy's pretty stacked with abilities too. Holy shit! Hold on.
We don't see any.
Yeah. I mean, these films do have like a series of books that act as a prequel to the films.
Do they?
Yeah, I don't think they've
I had
been.
No idea. What?
I think there's like 2 or 3 books, but I don't think they've been translated into English yet.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Yeah, which is kind of a shame.
I feel like I would have known.
Yeah, let me see if I can find it. Novelization. Maybe it's just one book. Oh no, there are 2 books. So there's Godzilla Monster Apocalypse and Godzilla Project Mechagodzilla, which is probably where most of the information on this Mechagodzilla comes from.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's not helpful. There's no plot summary at all. That's cool. But I do remember that like these books like introduce a bunch of other monsters from the greater Toho universe. Like, let me see who shows up in Monster Apocalypse. So we got Godzilla, Kamacuras, Dogora, Hedorah, Dagara, and Orga, who all appeared in the prologue of Planet of the Monsters in that as like JPEGs essentially. But then we also have Gabara, Megalon, multiple Eberas, Gazora, multiple Camebuses, Ganymes, Manda, Griffin, the Griffin from Latitude Zero, the Giant Octopus, multiple Anguirus's, multiple Varans, multiple Baragons, Magma, Megaguirus, Rodan, Biolante, Kamanga, Zilla, and Gorosaurus. And that's just in that first book.
Hey, but at least it's not multiple Zillas.
All right, let's say
that would have been annoying.
And then in the second book, they bring Gigan and Titanosaurus and King Caesar in. And Basher. Man, I want to read these books.
Well, make a petition to get them translated.
I really want them to.
Also, having multiple Kamangas would also be terrible because that would be 8-legged freaks.
I mean, we kind of literally saw that in Singular Point.
Oh, you're right.
We saw that.
Yeah, but they weren't that bad.
Yeah, I guess
they weren't that bad. Kamanga's an actual spider.
Wait, what the fuck? So there's a novelization for Planet of the Monsters, and there's a novelization for the Planet Eater, but there doesn't appear to be a novelization for City on the Edge of Battle.
Oof.
That's...
Oh, well.
All right.
What are you going to do?
That's weird. Unless, like, one of them, like, does both? I don't know. I have no idea. I can't tell. Mechagodzilla, that's what we're supposed to be talking about here.
Yeah, we're talking about Mechagodzilla. Yep.
Because I saw all these abilities, which he has quite a bit of, apparently.
Lay him on me. Tell me.
Convergent Neutron Cannon.
That's cool.
A charged particle gun composed of a special gun barrel and a generator located inside the head, which causes its head to deform when used. It uses the penetrating ability of neutrons to pierce the outer shell of a target and melt its body tissue.
That's sick. Oh my god. That's also pretty Halo.
That is. See, the thing about this is that we probably saw a lot of these in action because, like, I remember they activated the city and like it basically the city grew defenses. So I'm sure some of these were used in the film.
True. Oh yeah, you're right. It did actually have like big guns and shit on it.
He's got a blade launcher. That's cool. An electromagnetic catapult in Mechagodzilla's back launches the blades, which are then guided through the air toward their target over a distance of up to 3 kilometers.
I don't know why, but when you said that, all I thought about was Mechagodzilla with like a trebuchet on his back.
He's got a big sword, apparently.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. Mechagodzilla is equipped with a supersonic hyper lance. That sounds fucking metal.
Oh my god. Oh, it's making me so upset we didn't see
I
this.
know.
At least in like a flashback. That would have been better. I don't know.
I will say visually the design's not great because like it takes that like angular thing that you said earlier and turns it up to like 20 instead of 11 because it's just all angles and spikes.
A ridiculous degree of angular.
I mean, again, I like the Mechagodzilla City concept, but just like the Mechagodzilla itself design it's just kind of weird. I don't love it. I know people do love it, but I'm not one of those people.
It's very sci-fi.
Yeah, and that's part of that's one of the things I really like about the Polygon trilogy is that it's very hard sci-fi. But
yeah,
it doesn't work for me personally, at least visually.
Oh well. Yeah.
But
anything else to mention about him, or want to move on? I don't really have too much to say, just because we don't really see too much of him.
Okay, here's what we got to do, Brian. We got to learn how to read Japanese. We go to read the books, then we come back and record a second part of this episode.
Sure.
All right, cool.
All right. Cool.
Why is there a timer on Wikizilla?
They're counting down
the
time.
But it's counting up.
Oh.
It's at like an hour and 45 minutes, and I don't really know why. And if I
don't have a counter.
If I click the timer, it's in the very upper right corner. If I click the timer, it goes down to what the last thing I clicked on, which is the abilities section.
Oh.
I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah,
it feels like they're watching me.
I think they might be.
Oh.
Maybe they're counting the time until that it takes you to learn Japanese.
That's gonna be a long time.
It's gonna be a lot of hours. A lot of counting.
Yeah. All right. Next Mechagodzilla.
I mean, do we want to mention the Ready Player One?
We gotta mention the Ready Player One version.
I mean, at the very least, I like the design.
Well, yeah, because the design. Do you know the story behind the design?
I do, but I don't. I've heard it, but I don't remember.
All right, so Jared Krichevsky, who's the designer, who also designed the MonsterVerse Mechagodzilla, which I've seen him on Twitter.
Yeah.
He always loves to bring up the fact that he's designed Mechagodzilla twice now. Which, you know what, I don't blame him. I would love to brag about that fact too. So he was originally, because in the book Ready Player One, they just used Kiryu. But Toho apparently came to them and showed them the poster of Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 2 with the Noriyoshi Orai poster with that like transforming Mechagodzilla, and they said make it look like this. And honestly, it's pretty dang close. It's not like 1-to-1, but it's definitely close.
I didn't know that it was supposed to be based around that, but I did always think it looked remarkably close to those posters.
Yeah.
I didn't know that that's exactly what they set out to make.
Nope, that is exactly what they wanted. And
hell yeah.
Yeah, it strikes a nice balance between like looking like that and kind of having like the same physique as the 2014 Godzilla, which I'm sure was intentional. Like the fins on his back are exactly the same as the 2014 Godzilla.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, even the posture.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Posture's pretty similar as well, yeah.
And he's even got the finger missiles, like the classic Mechagodzilla, which is nice.
I was about to mention that I literally haven't seen Ready Player One, and I have no desire to, but I have seen this clip. And when he shot the when the finger missiles were shown off, I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
Yeah,
I missed that.
I've seen the movie. I didn't pay to see it.
I remember you did. You said, "Hey, I just saw Ready Player One." I was like, "Why'd you pay for that?" And then you said, "I didn't."
I didn't. I'm trying to remember the story behind it. What did I go to see?
You went to go see another movie, and then I don't remember who.
I think it was. I think it was. I went to see A Quiet Place, and then as me and my roommate were leaving, he was like, "Hey, Dave, you want to go see Ready Player One?" And I'm like, I guess. And we just went into the other theater.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I did. That was not a movie I wanted to pay to see, so.
I don't blame you. But now you can watch it for free.
I can. I'm not going to, but I have the option.
I'm not going to. I would have to be paid to watch it.
Yeah. I do like the fact that they did that for the score, Alan Silvestri included the like the main Godzilla theme into that.
Yep.
Into that scene. So, which I think, which probably absolutely opened the doors for Bear McCreary to use some themes in King of the Monsters.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I could definitely see that. And also, like the scene, you know what? If it does one thing, it means that the Gundam nerds also get what they want, and they get to see Gundam fight Mechagodzilla.
That's true.
So.
Which I don't remember if Gundam was in the book. I never read the book, and I have no plans to whatsoever.
I don't plan on it either.
Because as not great as the movie is, I've heard the book is even worse.
Yeah.
So
wait, you know what? I think I started reading it out of like.
Did you really?
Morbid curiosity, because I heard how cringe it was, and I was like, huh. And then I think I don't remember where I got the copy of it from, but I think I got it with the express intent of returning it. And I forgot.
I think like around when the movie was coming out, one of my other roommates like took it out from the library because he worked at the library on campus, and we had like we spent like an hour with me like reading the first chapter out loud, and we were all like, "This fucking sucks."
Yep.
It was like literally one of the cringiest things I've ever read.
Do a Ready Player One drinking game where everyone reads a chapter, and then whenever anything cringy happens, take a shot. You would die.
If you do that with Ready Player 2, from what I've heard, you'd be dead within the first chapter.
Yikes.
Like I've heard that book is really bad, and I almost want to read it like out of morbid curiosity.
Well, again, that's why I read Ready Player One. I was like, I've heard how terrible this is, and there's a movie coming out, so I'm gonna read it out of morbid curiosity. And I did not make it past like the second chapter. I don't think.
Jesus,
I forgot about it.
My goodness.
I think it's still in my house somewhere.
Oh my god. You can read it, Brian.
I don't think
oh my god, Brian, you can read it and use that as your the kaiju thing you've been checking out.
No, nope. Because it's back in Massachusetts, and I do not live in Massachusetts anymore.
Oh well, Brian, I can stop by your house and mail it to you. I'm sure your mom wouldn't mind.
Sure, mail it to me and pay $30 for postage. Do it.
It'll be worth it.
Yeah, do it. Go ahead. You paid $30 for a stupid meme.
Yeah. I've spent more on dumber before.
Fair enough. Okay. Let's move on.
Let's wrap it up.
Because Ready Player One Mechagodzilla is very like bog standard. Like
he's just kind of
in terms of abilities. He's an amalgamation of every other Mechagodzilla before him.
Yeah. Now we come to the newest boy, the MonsterVerse Mechagodzilla.
The Apex created Mechagodzilla.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm still kind of torn. We've talked about his design already on our Godzilla vs. Kong episode. So we'll
I actually have a take.
Okay.
I actually really like it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And I can tell you why.
Okay.
So I did a lot of thinking about it, and while I didn't, Godzilla vs. Kong is a fun movie, and I like all the designs generally. But I think Mechagodzilla's design for me, I really like it because it looks like a piece of shit that got scrapped together in a couple
Yeah.
months.
I
And
agree. Believe me.
and I think that is what they were going for, and that's why it fits for me. I
Mhm.
think it looks pretty intimidating for the most part. I think it is pretty spooky, I guess, in the right lighting. I really like its hands. For
Yeah, there's like
one.
those weird like four-fingered claws. Those are kind of
Yeah.
neat.
Again, it looks like somebody took a bunch of heavy machinery and just slapped it together and then threw in some bioengineering in there.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like. And I think if that is what they were going for, they succeeded. And I really like it. I think it's really cool. I really do dig the design. It's not my favorite, and I don't think it's anywhere close to the originals.
No.
I don't think it's anywhere close to like the Godzilla Singular Point design that we saw. But I like it. I think it's a very cool, neat kind of design.
I mean,
Definitely
I
not my
think
favorite.
it definitely
I do
works
like it.
for the concept they were going with, but I don't know, just like compared to every other Mechagodzilla design, I just don't think it holds its own as well as it could, you know?
Yeah, well, I think given enough time, like in the universe, it could be.
Yeah, I
It
think
could
the
grow into
main
something.
thing for me is the spines. They're just too boring
Yeah,
looking. They're just kind of straight up, which is just not that
I
visually
that,
interesting.
see. That's probably the biggest complaint I've seen about it is the spines, and I do agree. That's the one like thing I like wholeheartedly agree on that I don't like about it is the spines. But I think overall for me, it doesn't really matter because I think when I see it, I'm just like, ah, it looks stupid. But then I think, hey, you know what? They had a couple months of people that are probably sleep deprived and are living off of coffee trying to make this thing work.
That's
So who am
fair.
I to say, like, fucking whatever? To me, it looks just like a giant mass of heat sinks.
Mm,
Like that's what it looks like to
that's
me,
probably
which is why
exactly what it is, honestly.
it's why it kind of works for me.
I
Because when
mean,
I look at the MonsterVerse Mechagodzilla, all I think about is like, wow, that thing is probably really fucking hot to the touch.
most likely, yeah.
Like it will probably burn you even idle.
I mean, that's what the in Shin Godzilla, that's what Godzilla's fins were for. Like they were for venting heat. Now
Yeah,
that's what the evolution that evolutionary aspect of his biology was. So
yeah,
you're probably right on there is what they're and they are like glowing red at the very end. So I mean,
yeah. I mean, the whole thing, like the whole point of the movie was like they were trying to make him work under immense time pressure because they like Godzilla kept hearing this thing and was just chasing after them, so they were working under a schedule to make it work.
yeah.
And like their power supply to actually get it running was like not stable, I guess. Uh, so I think it works. I think it works really well for me. Uh, the other thing I wanted to mention about it was the my favorite part about it is that they managed to make it somehow not completely ridiculous. Because as soon as I heard the leaks that Mechagodzilla was going to be in Godzilla vs. Kong, I was like, there's no fucking way. That's too crazy. That's too crazy for a big Hollywood, like big budget action movie. And somehow I think they pulled it off without it being completely ridiculous. I don't know if you get that
Well,
vibe.
the thing is about that, like, other than Ghidorah, Mothra, and Rodan, Mechagodzilla is easily like the most well-known out of Godzilla's rogues gallery. So, like, unless they were just gonna do only Godzilla and Kong fighting, like, where else are you gonna go for like
I know.
characters
I
people
think
are aware of?
I think you're right. My big like the reason I was so like there's no way is because like in the MonsterVerse, the angle that they've stuck with is that these are just really big animals, and
That's
like
fair.
they are, in my opinion, they are like not less fantastical, but they're like they're more believable, I guess.
Okay.
So to say, because they're the angle that they've gone with is that they're animals. They had an ecosystem, yada yada. But then with Mechagodzilla is an idea from movies that didn't have this angle. And so it was just weird. I didn't know how they would pivot to make it work contextually, to make it not completely ridiculous. But again, to my surprise, they did somehow. And it was easy. It was literally just the guy saying like, "Monster scary, need something to be like a equalizer."
Yeah, they basically pulled a Pacific Rim.
Yeah, they did. So I think that's probably the one of the biggest triumphs for this Mechagodzilla, for me at least. As a Mechagodzilla fan myself, I think it was great.
I've definitely come around on the design since first seeing the film.
I think the leak like toy designs that we saw really did it a disservice.
That could be said for literally any other thing. That's not exclusive to Mechagodzilla, obviously.
It's not, but it definitely didn't help him.
Yeah, I mean, like, for God's sake, like, you have any idea how many characters from big comic book movies are leaked because of goddamn Lego sets?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like we knew Shuma Gorath was gonna show up in the new Doctor Strange movie well before the trailer came out, thanks to Lego.
Good job, Lego.
Which, hey, I guess that technically means Doctor Strange in Multiverse of Madness is a kaiju movie because Shuma Gorath is going to be in
it. Stay tuned for our review.
I mean, hey, it's a Sam Raimi film, so I wouldn't mind.
I wouldn't mind either.
Yeah.
He does a lot of practical effects, and like I've said before, practical effects are tokusatsu adjacent.
They are. I don't know how many shows he'll do in a fucking Marvel movie, but who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's never really shaken him on his ethics.
You know, this is totally unrelated, but the moment we started, I brought up Sam Raimi. The black suit theme from Spider-Man 3 got stuck in my head.
Oh my god!
Because I've seen like so many memes about it with it recently.
Is it is it because of? Is it because of the video that I sent you where it was Tobey Maguire looking over his shoulder at the airport, and every time it freeze frames on him looking at the cameraman, and it does that?
That's definitely what started it. But I saw one last night where it's that video of him yelling at the paparazzis to get out of the way with that over it as when he starts yelling.
Whenever I think about that clip, I always think about the Tugboat Toby or the Tugboat Maguire clickhole article. Oh, it's so good. Anyways, back to Mechagodzilla. Do you have any other thoughts?
I like the fact that his beam weapon is called the Proton Scream.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I like it.
Other than that, that's kind of all I got.
I like the red.
I do like the red color scheme. That's a nice touch.
I definitely think he's one of the more sinister looking ones.
Oh, absolutely. And I feel like that works with the character.
He was made to look mean.
Yeah.
And I also really appreciated that in the movie he actually does have a sense of weight. Like it definitely looks like he's a giant hunk of metal.
Yeah.
Moving around. I appreciate that. And also they used his like thrusters like a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about that on the Godzilla vs. Kong episode too. Like you didn't use him to fly, you just used him to like move faster, which is kind of new.
Yeah. He was a very fast Mechagodzilla.
Yeah.
He's very mobile. I appreciated that. That's the big thing with Mechagodzilla is that he always has so many weapons at his disposal, but because of restrictions upon filmmakers and the past movies, like they obviously weren't able to use all of them in ways that you could make them be used in like a big budget Hollywood movie.
Yeah, I mean, in against Mechagodzilla, and I assume Tokyo SOS, but again, it's been a while since I've seen it. I mean, Kiryu's moving around a lot once he loses the pack. Like he's moving, he's doing a lot of the same stuff the MonsterVerse Mechagodzilla is doing. He's using his thrusters to get around more quickly. He's leaping up into the air several hundred feet.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Yeah, he's also fast. Yeah.
But I think that's about it. All I have to say about this Mechagodzilla.
I would like to give a little shout out to the Godzilla Singular Point design. We've seen absolutely nothing from it except for a 20-second clip,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
easily best design since the 70s design, in my opinion. I love any design that has bone protruding.
It
I
is
think
a
it looks
pretty top
awesome.
tier design choice for
It
anything.
is pretty top tier. That's why I'm really hoping for a second season so we can see more of it because I think it could be up there with some of my favorite designs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hell, they, in the first season of Singular Point, they have my favorite Anguirus design.
Yes, agreed.
So I think they could easily pull it off. I
Honestly,
think Godzilla Ultima is probably one of my favorite Godzilla designs.
I unfortunately have been working at 6 a.m. a lot recently, which
Hey, me
sucks.
too.
It's the worst.
Every day.
Oh, well, at least I feel your pain. Someone feels.
I get up at 6 every day. I start working
I get up at 5 every day and start working at 6.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's not fun. But what is fun is that because we don't open until 9 o'clock, I can just kind of, while I'm working, I can just kind of do whatever. And I've been listening to music. I don't have headphones, so unfortunately, anyone who's working near me is also listening to music. But the other day, I was listening to the Godzilla Singular Point soundtrack, and I'm just like sitting there doing my thing, working, like packing up an order, and like listening to this, and like, fuck, I think it might be time to watch Singular Point again.
Yep. I watched so my workday is 8 hours, of course it is.
Mhm.
And I watched all of Singular Point in one workday.
Nice. Oh god, I can't even begin to imagine how much. I mean, I've already seen it twice now, but still, like watching it in one sitting, that's so much information to take in.
Yeah, I mean, again, whenever I say that I watch something at work, I'm listening.
That's
to
fair, yeah.
But I already know what's going on. I've seen the
That's
show
fair.
before.
Yeah, I think the track that made me want to think about watching it again was the one near the end where Pelops 2 is like inside the computer or whatever looking for the thing. I don't even remember what the hell it was supposed to be. But you know what I'm talking about.
The thing
The thing.
to make Jet Jaguar invincible.
Yeah, that thing. Whatever it was exactly.
The task.
Yeah. See, this is why I need to watch it again, because I need to remember what everything is, or all the things going on. So
Do it.
all right. We're coming up on almost 2 hours on this episode, so let's move on to our.
Well, there's going to be a lot to cut out from that.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's all the incarnations we've got.
Yeah, for now.
For now, I would like to see more Mechagodzilla in the future, of course, but that's because I am a huge fan.
I mean,
as
so am I.
you know.
Yeah, we both are.
Because I've got a Mechagodzilla tattoo on me.
You love to bring that up.
I do love to bring that up. I'll bring it up to anyone who will listen.
I'd like to point out.
I started wearing tank tops just so I can show it off.
I'd like to point out, everyone, that the only reason Brian actually has this Mechagodzilla tattoo is because I have a tattoo of Godzilla, the katakana for Godzilla, on my left arm, and I half jokingly said, "Hey Brian, you should get the katakana for Mechagodzilla tattooed on your right arm, and we can be like matching."
Okay.
And yeah, he said, "Okay."
Let's do it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I like Mechagodzilla more than I like Godzilla.
Mhm.
So I was gonna get a Mechagodzilla tattoo on me eventually.
Yeah.
You just brought up a good idea and I acted on it.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? Fuck yeah, I love the color blue and purple. I'm gonna get that on my arm and make it blue and purple.
Yeah.
And I did it.
So there you
and
go.
I'm proud of it.
Now,
no one ever sees it because it's really high up on my arm.
Yeah, and so now you have the origin of Brian's Mechagodzilla tattoo.
Yep, there you go. That's the last Mechagodzilla we're covering.
Okay. All right, well, let's move on to the next topic. Brian, you been checking out any new cool kaiju things recently?
This is a throwback to when we the last episode for the Christmas special when you mentioned Midnight Mass. I watched Midnight Mass. You're right. There's some cool spooky design in there
It's
with
fucking
the
rad.
eye shine. The
Yeah,
eye
it is.
shine.
Yeah, it is.
Anyone who is into that kind of thing, which you should be, if you like anything that's like kind of Stephen King-ish, watch it. It's not Stephen King, but you'd be forgiven for thinking it was.
Hmm.
It's a really good show. It's not really tokusatsu or kaiju stuff, but
There is a
uh,
monster. It's not a big monster,
there
but
is
there's a
there is
monster.
there's a monster, and it is definitely larger than a human.
That's true.
So, and it is
I
a
mean,
strange
if
beast.
we want to get down to semantics, the word kaiju just means monster. It's
Yeah.
daikaiju, that's giant monster.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Well, this thing is definitely a monster
Yeah.
for sure. Despite what some of the people in the show may think it is, it's definitely
Yeah.
definitely a monster.
absolutely.
So yeah, go watch it if you like shows,
Yeah,
especially
absolutely.
shows that tackle the whole spirituality and
Mhm.
organized religion thing. Give it a watch. It's a good show.
It's very good.
It might make you cry, maybe.
Lots of good performances
Yeah.
from everyone.
Also, Mike Flanagan is probably one of the best directors of our time. So go watch it, and then watch Doctor Sleep.
I thought you were going to bring up Doctor Strange 2 again.
No,
I don't like that. That doesn't come out for another couple months.
Go watch Doctor Sleep because not a lot of people have seen it,
Yeah.
and it underperformed at the box office, and it's a crime because that movie is great.
I still haven't seen it.
You should watch it.
I know.
Other than that, I actually think I'm gonna buy the big fuck you edition of Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Oh, are you? I might
some
do that too.
I have some cash to burn, and I just was looking at it. I was like, that would look
Nice.
really good on my shelf. And I think I'm gonna get a projector actually, because my room is
shit.
entirely comprised of white walls.
Nice. You absolutely should. That'd be rad.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna do that. And I'll maybe watch me some original version Evangelion. Maybe. I don't know.
All right.
It is a pretty penny though.
It is. It's a little over 200.
Yeah, no, it's not. It was on sale for like 170 something.
Oh. All right then.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I have technically 2 things to cover, but I might not cover one. Brian, do you have any qualms about me spoiling the Guardians of the Galaxy video game?
Go for it. I'm probably not going to play it.
Okay, well, first off, I've been playing the Guardians of the Galaxy video game, which you might think, oh, that's not a kaiju game, but you'd be wrong, because you know who shows up late in the game?
Godzilla.
No, who was initially alluded to in a throwaway line very early on, but who then actually appears later in the game as a boss. Goddamn Fin Fang Foom, Marvel's own big dragon man who wears purple shorts. It's
All right.
There's a weird thing with the game's music where like it has a bunch of licensed songs, but it's not very context savvy. So like you could be having like a really emotional, heartfelt conversation with one of the other Guardians, all the while you can hear Everybody Wants to Rule the World by Tears for Fears playing in the background, and it's a little bit of tonal whiplash. But so other times there will be some things that really, really go well. So when I say Fin Fang Foom was alluded to earlier on in the game, what happens is the Guardians need to pay a fine, a very large fine, and they're like, oh, how do we get money? And they're like, oh, let's go sell a monster to this lady who collects monsters. And Drax
I was there for that.
Yeah, yeah, that's right, you were. And so initially, Drax was like, let's go get Fin Fang Foom. He's a big monster. And everyone was like, that's a terrible fucking idea. We would all die. And then later on in the game, after the big bad has become the big bad and is like threatening the galaxy, the Guardians are all like, man, we how do we stop the big bad? And it's like, how do we stop the big bad? We need an army. And Peter Quill's like, listen, we know someone who's got an army. What are we talking about? And they're like, oh, it's the Monster Queen. And they're like, but how do we get her to not fucking hate us anymore? And Peter's like, Drax knows. And like, as soon as the realization of them going to fucking capture Fin Fang Foom, who is literally a kaiju-sized dragon, as soon as the realization hits, Motley Crue's "Kickstart My Heart" starts playing, and it was the most. It was easily like the hypest part of the game. I like got so excited. Just it like the pieces of the universe just fell into place just so in such a perfect way. Yeah, like I felt exactly like Drax must have felt just because of the Motley Crue playing at the same time. It was so great.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Yeah, so we get some really cool Fin Fang Foom action, which I think is the first time Fin Fang Foom has been relevant in probably like 50 years.
Damn. All right, well.
So there's that, but more closer to the realm of Toku, I watched The Great Buddha Arrival.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah.
When you told me about it, and I was like, you go ahead and just yeah.
I'm not gonna say much because I still think you should buy a copy and we should do an episode on it. But
I'm waiting until I get paid.
Yeah, it's an interesting film, to say the least. I gave it 2.5 stars because I legitimately do not know how I feel about it, so I just decided to split my ranking of it right down the middle because I legitimately could not fathom what I had just seen. I did read a thread on Twitter that kind of made the film make a little more sense, and now I'm like, oh, okay, that's a really interesting idea, actually. I think I like this movie. But it's a lot more weird and abstract of a film than I was expecting, and that I think anyone was expecting, because that seems to be kind of a consensus across the board from people seeing it, that they're just like, this is very weird. I think I liked it. Yeah, it's.
Well, I remember I asked you, and you were like, it was much more transformative and weird than I thought it was gonna be. And like, you didn't know what to think, and I was just like, is that like a good or a bad thing? And you're like, I don't know.
Yeah, because I legitimately didn't know. I think now I can say it's a good thing that it's like that.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a weird one, and there's really not much tokusatsu in there because I think the Buddha statue itself was real, but like, I don't know if there were any really like miniature sets or anything. I'd have to go back and watch it again, which I'm definitely going to have to if we do an episode on it.
All right, well, I'm gonna buy it, so you have to go back and watch it.
Yeah. It's definitely worth a watch. Like it's out there, and I love out there things especially when it comes to kaiju. Yeah, I don't really know how much more I want to say if I know we're going to be doing an episode later down the line, but I will just leave it at that. It's a fucking weird movie.
All right. Well, I'm definitely going to be buying a copy again.
Yes.
Gonna get paid, and also I'm buying that Evangelion collection, so gonna buy that first.
And get Nezura 1964 while you're at it too.
Yeah, I know.
Because apparently, I learned recently that they're from the same director.
Oh, okay. Huh. Well, you said that they were doing a sale, right?
They are. SRS is doing a sale right now. So hey, everyone, go buy that, because SRS is doing a sale.
Should have been in the news.
Yeah, whatever.
This bad podcast.
Who knows? The sale might be over by the time the episode goes out.
That's fair. I mean, hell, it might be over now.
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? But
well, that's all. Is that all we got?
Yeah, that'll be it.
Well, happy New Year! 18 days after.
Yeah.
Probably more till the time of listening.
I know.
Hopefully this year is gonna be better.
Yep.
Hopefully this god dang pandemic will simmer down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we'll get some cool kaiju tokusatsu stuff. Hopefully.
Well,
at least some news, maybe.
Here's the thing. I'm calling you out, Brian.
Uh-huh.
Next episode, we're gonna be covering Ultraman Trigger. I'm saying it.
Okay.
And that means, Brian, you gotta get on watching Ultraman Trigger, because I'm 99.9% sure that by the time we record the next episode, Ultraman Trigger will have wrapped. I believe not this week, but next week's episode is the finale. So we should be all done, and we should be on track to do a review of Ultraman Trigger by the time we record the next episode. If not,
you know what? That works. That works out because I work out every day. And I got like 45 to an hour of cardio, so I'll just watch it.
There you go. It's like 24 episodes, so you should be fine.
Yeah, I'll probably beeline it through.
Yeah. But yeah, if I'm wrong and Trigger has not wrapped by the time we record, we'll cover something else. What that something else is, I have no idea. But
Godzilla video games, we're doing it.
We could do that. I don't know. That's
kaiju video games, because there's also kaiju video games as well.
But plan for our next episode to be covering Ultraman Trigger, which is good because it's been way, way, way too long since we've done anything Ultraman related.
Yes. Last thing and only thing is Ultra Q.
Yeah, and that's not even Ultraman related. There's no Ultraman in there.
It was the precursor.
Yeah. But anyways, we are over 2 hours at this point, so
time to go.
Yeah, time to get the fuck out of here. Like Brian said, welcome back to year 2 of Talking Toku. I mean, it's a little because I think we started this in March, so it's not. We're still technically in year 1, but it doesn't matter. But we're
episode 20.
This is episode 20. Yeah, we're at 20 episodes.
Next episode will be old enough to drink.
Yeah, I guess so. But anyways, I think that's it. So follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Facebook and Twitter at Talking Toku. Instagram at Talking Toku Official. We're significantly more active on that one than anything else. I don't think I have anything else to mention. So all that being said, I am David.
I am Brian.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah. Bye.
So long.